What's up, y'all? I'm Mark.
I'm Rafi.
Hey,
Oh,
I think that's the dead giveaway. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. Another episode of Mark and Rafi.
yep,
I'm Mark.
I'm Rafi.
Yeah, man. What's up, man?
You know, not much, man. Just chilling. We missed the Tuesday show, so making it up for it today, and
Yeah,
yeah,
my fault. I did get that. Well, I didn't get it, but the
yeah,
setup thing that you sent. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
have to
yeah.
wait for it. Maybe it'll get better. If the mic doesn't work, though, dude, I'm telling you, I'm out. Like I can't. I don't know what the deal is. This is the third one now.
Yeah. I think uh,
Third.
I think this one should work. I just maybe a little bit of my luck, which I don't have too much of because I haven't won the lottery yet.
I mean, I haven't bought a lottery ticket and I don't know. I
Yeah,
think I've ever bought like five lottery tickets ever. I've never like just bought a lottery ticket.
yeah. You be the type to win too, because like I never forget. I'm on the boat. This dude, like, he never plays. Like, we did like a little like raffle. He never played ever. And then like I convinced him to buy one because I was the NWR person, and he bought one. He bought one, and he won the grant. He won the big prize that we were giving out away that weekend on the boat. And I was thinking to myself, like, how you never play, man?
I
Like,
would love that you think that that's my luck, but that is not, dude. I went to a game dinner one time and I bought like half the tickets because they're raffling off like all these guns and stuff. I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm trying to win that,
mm,
bro. Between me and my brother bought half the tickets. I didn't even win a Snickers bar, dude. Like people won like three, four guns. Like people were winning crazy. I'm like, man, I didn't win one single thing. That's wild.
yeah,
So maybe it's because it's been saving my luck for the lottery. Who knows? I
yeah,
don't.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah. The yeah, that kit that you got though, that should definitely help um with the audio, maybe even with the visual, because it comes with a light and everything. It's a nice little setup,
Yeah.
tripod and all that stuff. So definitely next episode. Um yeah, hopefully we see some improvements in.
I mean, I'm hoping we're getting some improvements from episode to episode. I'm dipping in and out. I mean, but that's like my life right now. It's up and down, man. It's touch and go. But
No, you're good, man. I've been busy myself with this whole Guantanamo Bay business. Um, for those that don't know, once again, I'm in the Navy and I'm actually part of Southcom. Well, I'm part of NAV South, which is the Navy component of Southcom, and they control Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo Bay is a Navy base, and so they set up a CAT team, a whole crisis action team, just for this, just to set up 30,000, or to set up a detention center for 30,000 people and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And
Trump's loading it back up. He said, them are some bad hombres.
so it's right, right. I love like reading like the news for people like they're like, oh man, they're gonna be sending like women and children and this and that. I'm like, nah, man, they sending the bad hombres like Trump said.
That's right. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But supposedly, huh?
No, I'm just saying, I remember my first time at the detention facility over in Afghanistan. I was like, oof, this is not fun.
I remember I wasn't in the military at that point. I remember watching the news and them talking about like, oh yeah, they're holding these these war criminals and stuff like that, and they're flushing Qurans down the toilet and stuff. And I was thinking like, man, a whole Quran can go down a toilet? That's wild, man. Okay, but
That ain't no way nothing could go down them toilets, man. You ain't shoving nothing down them toilets. All that stuff is wild. Do you remember the Abu Ghraib thing that came out like in
yeah,
Iraq and all
yeah,
that? Yeah,
yeah.
I was in AIT to be a little baby interrogator, going through and that's when all that stuff blew up. And somehow they pinned it on the interrogators, which it really had nothing to do with the interrogators. It was all the MPs. We don't have much face time with the prisoners except for to interrogate them, not stack them naked in pyramids and shit. But
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
they busted down on all of that. We weren't allowed to do nothing anymore. I remember after graduating, I was like, "Hey, I'm interrogating now." They're like, "You're more likely to go to jail when you interrogate someone in Iraq than they are." I was like, "Yo, how's that make any sense? Aren't they already in jail? How am I more likely if they're already in? Like, does that mean just 100? Yes or yes, I'm going to jail." Like, it was wild.
Yeah,
One of my colonels when I was in Afghanistan, like the last time I was doing targeting, he was like involved in like some of that stuff and like he got like thrown under the bus, man. It was crazy, but He finally got his big bird. Caw.
No, that's
He's super
good.
cool.
Good.
Also Jamaican, dude. I don't know what's up with the ties with all these Jamaicans right now.
All coincidence. It's all a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have anything like that, like where they were like, oh, you get busted for doing anything. Obviously, because we're on the ship and there's no one else gonna, board us. If someone boarding us, man, it's a bad day. But I do remember.
Iran did that one time. I remember I seen your boy out there with the white socks on, man. He messed up. He messed up big time on all accounts. You got boarded by Iran, you got taken captive, and you got white socks on. Dude, bad day.
Yeah, yeah.
Bad day. All bad.
Facts, facts. The one thing they used to get on us though was because I used to stay in security watch, and they would be big on like don't lose any rounds. Like if you lose a round, like oh we gotta count all the rounds in the boat, make sure we have all the boat, all the the it was like 9 millimeter rounds or shotgun rounds. I was thinking like if I lose a round, I'm in trouble. They're like yeah you're gonna be in deep trouble. Don't lose any rounds. I mean I'm pretty sure for you guys rounds, losing
No,
rounds.
they would do all the stuff like that all the time. Like when you were downrange, like if you're in Iraq and Afghanistan, obviously it's very different, right? Like, but I remember the same thing, like being in the bunker. Like my first job was in a bunker in Korea, so it's fitting. My last job was also in a bunker. But like you had like the one guy that has the rounds to protect the bunker, some weirdo dude that's got like I gotta count. I'm like, for what, dude? For what? Like what is the issue here? And then you're downrange, you see people just throwing away full mags of ammo because they're like, man, I don't feel like carrying this no more. I'm like, dude, this is sick, sick.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. I imagine, yeah, definitely downrange is probably a little bit more liberal with the rules as far
Yo,
as
downrange was the wildest shit ever. Like when it came to the dumpsters, man, the things you would find in the dumpsters was just nuts, dude. Like secured items, like all sorts of things. But the like at least where I was at in Iraq, they would have like the local nationals like clean out the dumpsters, right? So it'd
mm,
be like one like American like specialist kid that like hates his life, he's walking around with these locals, like four of them. And they all got like shovels and stuff, and they run to the dumpsters because the deal is, hey, like whatever you find in the dumpster, dude, like you keep. That's part of the benefits of the job. Joe's throwing away everything there, right? Like, man, crazy. Like, I remember one time I saw this thing. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, dude. It was wild. I'm sitting there just smoking a cigarette with my little pet turkey in Iraq, just chilling, and I watch these guys every morning because it's a show. Dude, like, runs, jumps in the dumpster, and he's like, ah, and he comes out and he's like, ah, and he's got something. And I'm just like, what is it? And the other dude comes running over and just pipes this dude with the shovel, dude. Like cleans him right in the and the dude just drops into the dumpster. I'm like, oh shit! And the other kid that's watching him, he comes running over. The dude's got the shovel. I thought he was about to kill him, dude. He's like, ah, and he's like, no, no, no. The dude stops him. Dude, he found why? Tell me why he found some used like a used fleshlight in the dumpster, and the dude held it up like it was the holy grail. He's like, ah! And then like I see the kid over there explaining it to him. He's like, wow, like this is what it is, dude. And the guy's like, all right, puts it in
all
his pocket. And then to go back to working, like he didn't just try to murder him with a shovel over some used. Man, dude. It was. Anyways, they reminded me of that. That shit was wild.
that's some fucking Lord of the Flies type shit, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it was you just see just some stuff over there. You're just like everyone's always like, oh, house war. It's like, man, you don't want to hear no war stories. Like this is the stuff. These are the things you want to hear. This is what's really going down.
Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, man. On the boat, on my submarine, like, yeah, there was no Lord of the Flies stuff going on, but there was,
Lots of weird stuff. I
there was a
bet.
lot of weird stuff.
Mhm.
150 dudes just, at some the first month was pretty cordial. Like everyone was, like, hey, we need to get this do the mission, and everyone was nice. But man, you get about, you know 2 months in underwater. So my boat, I was on SSBN, so we were underwater like for three months. Like we came up for like
Ah,
stores, but it's just underwater pretty much the whole time. And it was Groundhog Day. You were pretty much just doing the same job over and over again. Like for
I
me,
mean, that's the military or government in general, man. It's just Groundhog's Day. It is.
yeah. Yeah, but see, at least for you, at least for like folks that were downrange in like Iraq and Afghanistan, it's like you left your base and it was like, yo, we don't know what to expect. Something, might be brand new every day, right? It's a new episode of what's gonna
I
come
mean, there
out
is
today.
that. Most days are pretty mundane. There is the random chaotic, oh, things are exploding now for no reason, so let me attend to this. But most of the time, you're just waiting for that. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so but on the boat, ain't that
Yeah,
happening.
things start blowing up on the boat. I think you having a real bad day. You ain't coming out of that one.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So our excitement came from like, just people talking mess to each other. Like I said, about 2 months in, dudes are starting to get kind of cabin fever and stuff, and folks are fighting in the hallway, P-way, for like just dumb reasons, like you didn't let me go through the door before you or something. You sat in my seat in the galley or in mess hall, and it's just like, dude, I mean, come on, man, we got like one more month. Can we just be easy?
Yeah, see,
And
that's crazy. You only got to do 3 months. I mean, I get it. You're breathing in recycled farts in like a soda can under the ocean. Like that's awful. But like, you see how like you just have you're around the same people 24/7. Like 3 months is a lot. Like do that like 18 months on end. You sleep and shit and shower and eat and you're like, bro, if I hear you breathe again, I'm coming through this wall to just kill you. Like it was my best friend. Me and him were in Iraq together. You know what I'm saying? And be like, dude, just seeing him would ruin my day. I'm like, I have to hit you, dude. Like you again? Like take a vacation, go somewhere else. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man, it's I don't know what it is. It brings out that feralness in you. You just like
Yeah.
I can't. I need to see a different human.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. I wonder, not to, go down a rabbit hole, but I wonder if that's why, like, certain leadership that's coming in is like, we don't need females in combat because this type of thing might, might be kind of bad if, you're down, if you're downrange with like, a female compartment. I'm not saying that, females can't do it. I could just, but I wonder if that's part of the reason they're like, well, soldiers already want to fight each other. And there's a whole bunch of dudes, throw some females in.
I mean, it definitely makes a difference. Most of the places I was at, there really wasn't any females or no females allowed. There were always like these weird little outstations, you know. So we didn't have like the support for that. But every once in a while, you get like some civil affairs or some supply unit or whatever that have a girl, and like, dude, I'm telling you, it was weird. You'd be in the like chow hall or something like that, and a girl would walk in, and like the whole chow hall would stop, dude, and everybody would like. Girl, like you, because you smell like shampoo, like all those things. You don't smell like I'm telling you, it's why I'm like, dude, how uncomfortable is this girl got to be when you walk in the door and all of a sudden, like, it's quiet and just 80 dudes whipping around, like, huh? And like, yeah, man, there's ain't nothing good off of that.
Yeah, yeah, they just
The desert queens, they call them.
Desert Queens, yeah, yeah. They just integrated the big submarines, the SSBNs and the SSGNs like around 2000, around the mid 2010s, like around 15, maybe 14-ish area. And yeah, man, I mean, obviously there was lots of inappropriate stuff happening, like dudes trying to, film females in the shower and stuff. I think it was the USS Wyoming, and they busted folks and stuff like that. And it's the growing pains of, young kids having to integrate with a whole bunch of females that it's like they've never seen that before and stuff like
No, and I think that's definitely is like every time you think of the military, it's like, oh, America's military, the top fighting force. Like, first of all, it's a bunch of 18 to 22-year-old kids. Like, that's what it is. It's your college age kids, you know, just thrown in together from the middle of all sorts of places in the world. And you're like, yeah, man, things aren't gonna go well.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, nothing is, yeah, I just say I feel like in general, like my unit, my command always kind of kept things together pretty well. Like there wasn't like any like, crazy stories like, dude, ends up, bludgeoning some dude to not halfway to death on the boat or anything. There was fights, but it wasn't like anything like, oh yeah, dude got his, eyeball poked out or nothing. I think the most damage I seen was when we were running drills. In fact, there was this one guy, he was we were running a fire drill, and he was coming down the ladder well, it was like a stairwell, and he fell the wrong way, and he ended up like rupturing his urethra
What did
on
you fall on, dog?
bro. I don't even know. All I know is that like, so sick bay was next to my rack, and so I just remember he was in there and he was just like, oh, he was just yelling and moaning on, and then I remember doc saying like, yeah, I gave him some, painkillers and hopefully that should help him sleep throughout the night until we can get him off the boat and stuff. So, we had to come with periscope depth and send off a message and, get some type of boat to come out there to, so we could, take them off or get them off the boat so we can get, fixed and stuff. Cause we ain't got no real doctors on the boat. We got a,
Nah.
we got an enlisted corpsman who's pretty good. He was, he could triage somebody and stuff like that and, get some painkillers in somebody, but he ain't fixing no ruptured urethra, man. That's
Yeah, that seems like you need a specialist to do that. I don't want no dude out in the field like, I'll take a shot at it, man. Like, I don't know. This is my first one, but we'll get through this together.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
nah, man, miss me with that.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, so yeah, for like the army and stuff, so like we had like one corpsman for 150 dudes. It was just one medical dude. For you guys had like what a whole medical unit that was like at the base with you guys, or like a sick
No,
bay.
bro. No, like the way it worked, like where I was at in Iraq, like you have like where your brigade is at. Your brigade
Okay.
headquarters have like a cache, like that has a hospital and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
like, but you're out at smaller stations like FOBs,
Oh,
CASAs,
yeah.
JSS, stuff like that. Once you
Mhm.
start getting out these smaller things, like you maybe have a couple medics, a medic, or like yeah, you don't have full field hospitals, nothing like that. Like it's
Yeah.
just you and the one dude, and sometimes that one dude ain't it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Right? Everyone's like, is it CLS Combat Lifesaver certified? It's like you can tend to blood and like put an IV in and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, and that's mainly all you got to do. Like that's where most people die is like that transportation trying to get to the hospital, right? Like
Yeah.
just get them stabilized and get them out. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's where I remember we had one kid, he got a staph infection in his face. It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
We've been waiting to try to get this analyst this whole time, man. We're like these little HCTs. They just kick out like three, four human kids to all these random battalions and stuff like that. And they're like, go collect information. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
You just show up, and they're like, hey, I'm the intel guys, man. Nobody wants to hear it, right? Anyways, like we're you're out, like you have to go out with all these guys on the missions and stuff, collect the information, come back, write the reports, try to tie in all these things, see what's happening, right? Like it's a lot for like just three kids who barely know how to write to do. So we're like, yo,
Yeah.
could we get like an analyst to support us? And they're like, yeah. Dude, butts. Finally we get an analyst. Tell me why like third day in, kid's like, I'm sick, this and that. We're like, man, this kid, but for real, gut staph infection in his face, was
Oh.
waiting like a day or two. They flew him to the next base. It turned into like Mercer. They're like, bro,
Ugh.
if you didn't get here in like a day, you probably would have died. So like we
Yeah.
never saw the kid again, right? I saw him when I got back from Iraq because we were all out process and stuff like that. And dude was on like crutches and had like rickets. Remember like rickety cricket
Yeah.
from yeah, he was like
Yeah.
that. He's like and I was like, oh shit, dude, you almost died. Like
Yeah.
that's fucked up, dude. Like you can't move now, huh?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he's like, jokes on you. He's like, they said because I'm so young, like it's a nervous disease thing. Like I should be fully recovered in like 3 years, but I'm getting 100% medical and separated. But he had the rickety, but I was like, yo, cool, you get money now. So
I was gonna say, yeah, I know it's interesting. Interesting you bring that up because I know a lot of us in the military is like, yo, if you get 100% medical like retirement, that's winning.
that's the lottery. I mean, that's the military lottery.
Yeah.
And you know what's so wild though is like in the last 20 years, I've spent with so many people deployed and have all these crazy stories, all this other stuff. The people who have 100, dog, are like, it's always nothing to really do with anything that you would think. You're like, oh man, someone got blown up or shot. It's like, no, dude, like, dude fell off the Jacob's ladder in basic training and broke his hip, and now he's got 100%. Was in the army like 6 weeks. He's a dude with the hats. They're like, thank me for my service, and like, it's like, bro, you did 6 weeks, man. Like, oh man, like, oh yeah, I got kicked out for being fat, so now I get 100%. It's like, how, how did that happen? I don't know, dude. The whole system is just it's so wild to me. I mean, I got my VA appointment tomorrow. We'll see how this goes, but I'm just like, man, I messed up so much stuff. My knee got all blown out. They're like, oh yeah, jump out of airplanes. This and that. I'm like, cool, did this. Like, they're like, if you better pass up the surgery, go on deployment. I'm like, okay, bet. And now I'm like, I can't walk no more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't think it's service connected. I'm like, you don't think so? You don't think I blew my knee out in the army that time is connected? They're like, yeah, probably not. Everyone's like, yeah, just go and be fat or like have PTSD. I'm like, bro,
Uh,
like this, there's got to be a better way for this thing to work. But
yeah. No, that's real. I will say that there's definitely folks that I know that I'm like, man, you should, even if you don't have 100, you should definitely at least have 80 or some high percentage or something like that of disability. And then, like you said, like I know a couple of people that shouldn't I feel this is, totally, subjective, my opinion, but it's like you have 100% because of some like you're bipolar or something. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's kind of lame. And you got out, like you said, like, it's like, oh, you were in for like 6 weeks, and they found out
Did
you
the
were
standard
bipolar.
Navy deployment to Bahrain. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
only got ice in my pool twice a week, man. I got PTSD from it. Like, come on, man. Every time. Oh, you deployed? Yeah, I deployed too.
yeah,
Bahrain. Dog, that's not a deployment. It's a
yeah, yeah.
vacation.
Yeah. That's real talk. I have actually been pretty fortunate that my deployments have not been downrange. They've just been to, foreign countries that weren't so bad, like Bahrain.
Yeah, like Bahrain. Yeah.
And
I did not get so lucky with my choice of destination.
yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, but at the same time, hey, you got the VA appointment coming up. You never know. Maybe you hit that 100 and
Maybe I can just get this surgery so my hand works again. That'd be cool too.
yeah, yeah. Definitely your hand issue. Man, I really hope that gets fixed because yeah,
So
you don't realize how much you use your hand until you can't use your hand.
yeah. When I was in that cast and everything, I was like, man, I can't do nothing right now. And I
Yeah,
was like, oh, just learn left-handed. Like, oh yeah, why
yeah.
didn't I just do that in the first place? Like, you don't just be ambidextrous, dude.
You're
Like,
right,
I'm like,
right,
well, I don't right now. I better learn sign language or something because this ain't just be left-handed. Stop it. Oh, all right, yeah. Just be
right.
happy, dude. Why are you stressed?
You're
Oh.
right. Right. Anyways, we getting into that point, that good old time limit. You got any saved rounds or anything?
Yeah, my save round is don't save no more rounds. Dude, get it out.
Yeah. For me, I should just, just talking about that or referencing this last little topic. Yeah, if you're in the Navy, military, Army, Coast Guard, anything like that, make sure that you go to medical and you at least get it written down. At least get
No,
whatever it is.
go all the time. They always be
Yeah,
trying to. I remember when I was in there, like, don't be a malingerer. I'm like, I'm throwing up. They're like, what are you gonna do? It's like, never went to sick call, never did anything. Even when all my shit was busted up, they're like, well, what do you want us to do about it? I'm like, yeah, you're right. There's no point in going. And then you get out and they're like, why didn't you go? I'm like, you told me not to go. I'm like,
exactly.
well,
Exactly. And so I don't know how they do it in the Army, but in the Navy, they make you fill out like this questionnaire beforehand and stuff like that. You could put stuff in that questionnaire because that stuff stays in your record too. And you could say, hey, look, I feel okay, but I do have this, pain in my knee or something like that, or this pain in my toe or my chest or whatever and stuff like that. That way, at least
don't
it's
be a hero. You ain't
yeah,
saving nobody. Go get yourself checked up. Get your
yeah,
stuff documented. Because when you get out, ain't nobody gonna be there to help you. Your Joes ain't around no more. Your
yeah,
boys ain't around no more. It's just you and the VA. You know
yep.
what they care about? Them receipts, and you better have them because you ain't gonna
Facts,
get shit. So,
facts.
also, if anyone out there is well versed in the VA and how to do that the right way, hit us up. We could always use some help. This is the channel of sharing and caring.
Facts. Two vets, two divorced vets. So we could definitely use
We use all the help for
all
real.
the help. As you can
You
see,
see us.
yeah, you see us, we are struggling. No, but still trying to
Help
figure
us to help you to help us.
right. Help one another. Exactly. Well, what I always like to say, success is attained through constant action and making sure that you do the same thing over and over again, because, and growing, because that's the only way
And growing.
and growing because that's the only way that you can attain success. So yeah, you got anything else you want to
Yeah, no, as always, all that. Sprinkle some love on that, Jones, and man, all will be good. We're gonna
finish
figure
some
it out.
job?
We're gonna get there.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day.
I'm